Welcome into our overtime segment here at SportsSource.tv. Thank you for joining us. It's brought to you by Blue Smoke Cigar. You see it there on my desk. They also have Smoke and Jones down in Alcoa. But Blue Smoke Cigar, it's a terrific club and lounge. It's a Caldwell lounge. Caldwell Cigars, it's a really good boutique brand. The lounge is located South Peters and Kingston Pike out in the West Knoxville area. They have a big event coming up on Thursday night. I want to make sure I get the facts straight. There will be great discounts. Non-members can get 25% off boxes of Caldwell cigars. I had one the other day. They're good. Great discounts and swag. They got Caldwell Cigars merchandise that they're going to have. All kinds of deals. It starts at 4 o'clock this Thursday. Blue Smoke Cigar goes well past 4 o'clock. But you'll be impressed by the location. You really will. They've got lockers. They've got the beautiful humidor. They've got, it's a nice place. Check it out. If you're a cigar aficionado, that's the place to go in Knoxville. And the place to be there is Thursday, starting at 4 o'clock for their big event. 25% off Caldwell boxes. All right. On the surf, let me tell you who these people are here. We got Bob Hodge. We got Josh Ward. We got Jimmy Hyams down there. On the surface, this sounds like a simple question. Hopefully it won't be. Hopefully they'll have some thought to it. But if you could guarantee any non-quarterback at Tennessee an all-SEC season, who would it be and why? So quarterbacks are out. Name one player off that team. If you could make one guy all-SEC, who would it be and why? I'll start with Jimmy.
John Kelly, running back.
We're all going in the same direction.
Well, here's why. If you look at the running backs in this league, whether it's Geis at LSU or Raleigh Williams at Arkansas or whoever is going to be there at Alabama rushing for 2,000 yards, you're going to have great running backs in this league, right? If John Kelly makes all-SEC, what does that mean? It means he's going to rush for about 1,500 yards. It means that it takes a lot of pressure off the quarterback. It takes some pressure off the running game. It takes some pressure off the offensive line. I'm going to go John Kelly.
Of course you would. And you're going to go there too.
I was going to go John Kelly, and it also means that your offensive line's probably pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the other part of this. If John Kelly's good, probably your offensive line is going to be good, and that is going to make a difference also for your quarterbacks and your receivers. So for him to get there, you're probably going to have a couple of all-SEC, maybe not first team, but you're probably going to have a couple of all-SEC offensive linemen as well. So I think that means that you've got another component of your offense that's been pretty good.
And I think it also suggests, in this hypothetical world, if he's all-SEC and your offensive line's looking better, it also suggests that other teams aren't able to stack the box on you and put 8 in the box all day long, which means your passing attack has to at least be somewhat dangerous. So to me, and at least two of the others, I think that I agree with you that John Kelly is the guy that if you could give them an all-SEC player, it's him. Josh, do you agree with Kelly or are you going somewhere else?
Well, Kelly was going to be my backup option if Jimmy took my guy, so I'm perfectly fine with that. But I'm going to go with Khalil McKenzie at defensive tackle because, one, there are just so few guys to choose from at that position right now that could play, let alone be all-SEC. Khalil McKenzie has that potential. And with the steps the defense clearly has to take from last year, if they can be better up front and have a guy that they can count on alongside Kendall Vickers with the questions around Shy Tuttle, if Khalil McKenzie can emerge and become that player, I think it can help the guys in the secondary, maybe help Jonathan Kongbo, Darrell Taylor, Kyle Phillips be able to create pressure.
Along those lines, would Kongbo be close to McKenzie? Because if he has an all-SEC year like Derek Barnett,
he'd be the other guy I'd choose on the defensive line, yeah.
And see, my first answer was going to be Kirkland. And then I thought to myself, well, how many times have you seen linebackers that can make all SEC? They're making plays all over the field, but they have to make plays all over the field because they don't have a Khalil McKenzie making plays. They don't have a Kongbo putting pressure on the quarterback. And so it really sort of the middle linebacker making all SEC, sometimes you don't know how he got there.
Was that Cunningham at Vanderbilt was all SEC?
Yeah. And he made 20 tackles a game, but they were 4 yards down the field. So I would go McKenzie and then either Kongbo, a defensive.
Yeah, and if McKenzie has an all-SEC season, that's a good sign for what Brady Hoke's done with him. Maybe that's an indication of what he's done with some other guys as well.
And my concern with all those guys, McKenzie, Tuttle, it has to be injuries. They've had them over the course of their career. Are any of them or all of them able to get into a season and go through it relatively unscathed? That's a huge question mark. Let me ask you this, though. If given the choice, and we'll just say generic defensive tackle, let's say any of them, versus any defensive end, we would expect McKenzie and Kongbo, but let's just say any of them. If you had to choose one, would you rather have an all-SEC defensive tackle or an all-SEC defensive end? I think I would rather have a tackle.
I'd go tackle.
I would as well.
And I think he can have more of a disruptive impact. You
But
have to
Tennessee had that
double
with
team him.
Barnett, and their defense was the best single season ever, and their defense stunk.
I
I
look
love
how
it when
bad
I
it
can
would have
turn
been
one on
without
you.
him.
Yeah.
How bad would it have been without him? My God.
That's true.
Missouri would have
Sincerity.
9,000 yards.
Yeah.
So, but I think a defensive end can have a greater impact on a game.
See, and I'm going to go with tackle simply because if your tackles are holding down the interior of your line,
You
I
said
think
tackles.
huh? Okay, tackle.
One tackle.
tackle. Let's say it's Pat Williams,
Run away from him.
guy playing that well. Okay, if they got to run away from you, then that should help your defense because you know they're going to be running.
Got to run away from
you.
Kongbo, though.
Huh?
You got to run away from Kongbo.
Well,
also.
see, but I'm going with what John said about Barnett. I mean, fantastic year for
the best
defensive
year.
end, and maybe your second worst defense in history. So I think a tackle. But here's the deal. I mean, either one of them can
You'd
have
like
a
both.
huge impact in
Yeah,
the game.
I also
Yeah.
think McKenzie, if he has a big year, there's a better chance that positively impacts the guys on the outside, especially somebody like Kongbo, as opposed to if Kongbo does well. I don't know that that's going to translate to tackle.
Let's say you had to name a second guy on offense, okay? And
Non-quarterback,
non-quarterback, not John Kelly. You could give him an all-SEC season.
Juwan Jennings.
I knew where everybody's going to go Jennings.
Jennings. I am. I'm trying to think of an offensive lineman, but
I'll
Trey
go
Smith
there.
at left tackle.
I'll go Coleman Thomas at center. I think if you lock down the center position, if he had an all-SEC season, that's a heck of a turnaround for that young man.
And
I
last year
think-
center was a problem for Tennessee, an ongoing problem for Tennessee.
I think, and it sounds strange, you'd normally think anybody in your offensive line, you'd want that to be your left tackle, but you've had issues at center. I think in some ways, if you've got Coleman Thomas there, it'll steady the guys beside him. So I think I would go Coleman Thomas even before Jennings. So, of course, I'm also trying to make conversation on a television show.
Well, I like Thomas as a choice. My thought with Jennings, if I went that route, is well, is that then an indication of how your quarterback played? Are you going to have an all-SEC wide receiver with that at least consistent or good quality play at that position? Probably not. So if Jennings plays really well, if he plays all SEC level, then you probably get pretty good quarterback play too.
You can also make an argument that having one all-SEC receiver might not be great for the team. Would you rather have one
Yeah, that
great
could be.
receiver or three good receivers? I would rather have three good
I'd rather
receivers
have
that
three
you're
good
spreading
ones,
it
too.
around rather
And,
than one
and
guy
you've
who
also
constantly
got,
goes
he could make,
to the other side of it.
Juwan Jennings could have fantastic stats. He could catch several 7-yard passes and turn them into 40-yard gains, which sort of might make his personal stats look fantastic, but really not tell you a whole lot about how your quarterback play is gone.
Should I cheat the conversation, make Tyler Bird all SEC because you already know what you get with Juwan?
Well, see, if
Good.
Juwan
There
Jennings
you go.
has an all-SEC year, you know teams are going to scheme around him, right? So that means you're going to have single coverage with a lot of other people. It could help open up Bird. It could help open up Josh Smith. It could help open up your tight end. Ethan
But it
Moore.
didn't matter a minute ago when that defensive tackle was forcing everybody to run away from him, and you were scheming for that.
No, I said the same for the end. You'd do the same for an end, wouldn't you?
But you get back to the guys on offense, and I think outside of Kelly, I would change my answer. I would go with Coleman Thomas because I just think you had so many problems with the middle of your offensive line last year.
But what if he's really good and your best running back gets 600 yards?
But what if you have 3 running backs and they all get 600 yards? That's a pretty good running.
Let's
back.
go with realistic.
I think this got off track.
We're going to respond to something. I don't normally do this, but we're going to respond to something. Apparently, someone was upset when you said snowflake. And the reason they were upset is they claim that term comes from the Holocaust. I've never heard it used in that term, and I'm guessing that's not the way you meant it at all. Correct?
I have never, ever, 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 never heard of the phrase snowflake associated with the Holocaust.
I have not either. So whether that's true or not, somebody can go to Snopes.com and find it out. But I don't
You know
think
what the number one insult to come back at that would be?
Let's not go anywhere. that person is. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I don't have I've never heard that. But anyway, that's not how it was meant here. So I think most people who watch this would know that. But because that's such an unusual, we take critiques all the time, but that's an unusual one, so I wanted to answer it. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Bob, not so much, but the rest of us appreciate it. We'll see you next Sunday, 11 a.m. on WATE 6 for the Sports Source. Thank you.